Hey, Video Diary. I thought I should offer a wrap-up. That was a grueling year. That was a depressing year. Just in the sense that I have to accept that he's gone. And then, my emotions can try to deal with it somehow. So what have I learned? I think they're very basic things that if you do things counter to your well-being, you're not going to be well. And that I have to learn more about addiction in the sense of forgiving my son for doing this at all. That's a big part of my personal difficulty, is that he just did it at all. After all of our, not the first time, like I can understand how he got into it, but in my mind, and I'm probably wrong, is that I thought he was far out of it. So far out of it, because we had so many good things going. So there are feelings of abandonment, that I have to live the rest of my life without him. And betrayal, because this is like the ultimate betrayal in some ways, to deprive it's hard to just shrug it off as an accident. I loved him so much, and he's gone now, and he had an illness, and he didn't mean to hurt me. That's the regular narrative. But that's not how I feel. I don't think Forrest meant to hurt me. I just think he didn't care if he did. Because he did the second he found that dealer and drove there. It's that time right there. Oh, I can't go back. My grieving is so deep. It's like I think every creature tries to, put its next generation into the world, and there's just a hardwired psychological effect from that. That mine is just cut, and Forrest cut it. So I almost feel like I've been negated or rejected by nature, by actions. These are all disproportionate and somewhat true, somewhat false. I think people are responsible for their actions. You can't do stuff like this and expect to survive. It's like, if you're doing stuff like this, you're already hurting people. You're already victimizing people because you're lying, because you're a liar. And if you're a liar to yourself, or you have a disease or whatever it is, it's like it can't just be, oh well. Can't do anything about it. And I guess I'm talking to the addict in myself, the person in myself that feels like saying fuck it, and I don't want to. Sometimes I don't want to live. I've said that, like the joy, and the inspiration of what surging forward, finishing strong, creating a legacy, delivering my educational thoughts that I've developed for the guitar to I almost don't care anymore. And that's been an unplugged, Forrest was my soul. He was, obviously I put too much, into one person, but just in terms of like that, like I'm talking about archetypal and, just as a constellation of what a father-son is. I wanted to teach him so much about the world, so much darkness about the world too, so that he wouldn't be a fool. But he was the ultimate fool, because he thought that shit was harmless and controllable. I said at the very beginning of this, there's nothing good. There's nothing good to take out of this. I had already reached a point in my life where I was disciplined and mastering my self more than I had ever done before. I was disciplined. I don't know. And he just changed everything with this one need and group of actions. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know because as soon as you look it through one pinhole, all you see is a billion other pinholes to say, well, you could look at it this way also. But if you do stuff to harm yourself, you really you hurt you and you hurt everybody. Every day I talk in my mind to him. And I know it's just one day at a time, but I just can't imagine years of this. Not being able to know him. Anyway, I don't want to go down there, because that ends one place, But life is what you make it. And so much of our suffering in this world is because of what we believe, bad beliefs, that those people aren't as good as you are, or you're better than them, or our group is better than their group, and everybody should just be educated. If you've ever spent time on a really good university and you're around everybody in the world working as hard as they can to expand themselves, you know what I mean. It's only in the maze of this outer world that we're all just cheating each other all the time. Or I guess what I mean by that is we're self-interested creatures to an extent that's it's hardwired. So we need to work with it and make good out of our hardwired, self-interested things, because nothing makes me happier than feeling other people thrive. Because I'm part of that, I'm part of that other people. I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be private, because I can't really share this easily, or maybe that's what I'll get into, is the more negative emotions of all of this, because it's probably just my own, the way my own story laid out here. Oh God. Speaking of which, it's not that I'm saying there's no God, but I personally don't believe that there is. And that's not a difficult thought. It used to be. It's very comforting in some way, because it feels like you should trust and believe what you see and feel around you, because that's data that it could be good, it could be bad, but it's it's very real data. And through all of this, like death and spirituality and searching the self and pulling myself up from a depth I had never been to, and all that kind of stuff, I felt like, wow, people who have lost like this are so vulnerable to the predations of religions. And what I felt overwhelmingly from the moment my son died was that just connection to nature. These are just words I'm just trying to approximate, but I was just like, and I was never not there. That's the thing. It's like I was never not there. I just believe that I was. I believe that I'm a human man, which I am, but like separate from everything else. So it feels really, really solid to feel that. It feels good. And it's not dissipated. It's just there. And it's wrong. It's just straight up wrong to do these drugs. It's a false path. And I'm sorrowful, and I'm ashamed that my son took it. Thanks for letting me share.